because it doesn't spend as much time as it should in the condenser and blows its way through there, it doesn't pick up a lot of subcooling. And where your thermometer, instead of reading 105 degrees here, it's going to read 120, or it's going to read 125 degrees, because there is no subcooling happening in the system, because we don't have this backup of refrigerant. And that tends to be a problem, because when you have very little subcooling, then every time this refrigerant, and it's liquid, it's not vapor, it's still liquid, but if it hits a kink, or if it hits a joint, or it has to travel a long way through the liquid line, it starts to drop. If it drops a pound or two of pressure, it's going to start flashing over and boiling over and changing state before it hits the metering device, and that really wreaks havoc on its an air conditioning's capability to cool properly. All right, so what happens is that that refrigerant does not back up and doesn't pick up enough subcooling. And I remember when I first learned subcooling, it was hard for me to get my head wrapped around that superheat and subcooling. Just remember that refrigerant backs up and spends more time in the condenser, and it has more time to get rid of heat, and that's how we get our subcooling. But when we have a low system charge, the refrigerant doesn't spend a lot of time in the condenser, and we have very low subcooling. All right, so we don't have enough refrigerant in the system, first of all, and we'll assume we have a solid column of liquid coming up here to the metering device. Same thing happens as it comes through the metering device. We have 75-25 flash gas going on. We start to change state from liquid to vapor. We're picking up heat, we're picking up heat, we're picking up heat just like it should. And then when we hit with the undercharge system, we don't have enough refrigerant to make it all the way through the coil at changing states. So at a certain point in this evaporator coil, we have now changed state to 100% vapor, and there's no more liquid to change state, and you lose all of this cooling that should be happening in the rest of the evaporator coil. So it's 100% vapor. It's not picking up any heat. It's just picking up superheat, and it's traveling through more of this evaporator coil, picking up more and more and more superheat. And as we get down to the condensing unit, we have we're not going to be measuring 50 degrees anymore. Remember this, we had 40 over here, and we're going to keep the pressures the same for example purposes. It's going to pick up quite a bit of heat. It could be 65, it could be 70 degrees coming out of here, and you're going to have 25 degrees of superheat, and that's your indication of an undercharged system with a fixed metering device. So when you have a fixed metering device and a low system charge, you will have low to no subcooling,